Alright, so I guess before I start this video, well, first of all, I should probably turn the phone. Second of all, that's all you're seeing because I don't feel like showing my face right now because I really don't care. Otherwise, I probably would have recorded this on the PlayStation, so at least you would have got face cam. Well, today I want to talk about the channel as a whole. It took us a hot minute to get to where we are. It's been 4 years. Well, a little more than 4 years since the 4-year anniversary was on November 8th of this year. And so I just wanted to talk about how it's probably going to be a very, very long time before you see, before you see as the channel name states, constant but consistent uploads. It's gonna be a hot minute, and that's mainly due to, as I mentioned in videos that have probably been uploaded, videos that are recorded and haven't been edited, or recorded and edited but still not uploaded videos. I may have mentioned that a couple 100,000 times. Now, I'm going to let in on that a bit. The reason it's taking so long for us to get internet is because, well, first of all, the only company we can get for internet out here is wanting internet's like $200 and that's like $80 a month or some shit like that, which we can't really afford to do. And that seems to be a running joke on this channel, somewhat, is that I can't really afford to do a lot of things. And I mean, it's not really my fault, but it's not really anybody's fault either. Because the issue with that is a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of the more popular YouTubers and stuff, not all of them, I'm not saying all of them, but there's certain ones, a certain decent handful, and I bet you guys can probably think of a couple in your mind right now, but there is, there's shut the hell up. But there is there's people who've come on to this YouTube, the platform, and they've got like a fucking silver spoon born in their mouths, and they can afford to do this shit right out the gate. And then there's other people who had joined on at a point where YouTube was it was a lot easier to get popular and stuff. And I mean, I'm not trying to make this video about YouTube popularity, because it really isn't. What it's about is, as I've mentioned before, it's just it's hard for me to do things on this channel without being obstructed by a paywall in some way, because it's I have to pay for internet, and I can't afford, none of us can afford to do that. There's 4 of us living here, even with all 4 of our incomes or whatever combined, mine's a 0, but still, nonetheless, we can't really afford to do that, because if we get internet, then we get behind on bills. There's not really a leeway between there where it's we can pay a bill one time and then pay the internet the next and just rinse and repeat that in a pattern, but we can't do that. So because you got to focus more on your living rather than internet. But see, it's taking a while to get that, and I don't know if we'll ever get it. So maybe till the end of time or until I eventually die or something, I'll probably be uploading videos through like Burger King Wi-Fi or just any place that has Wi-Fi, rather than being able to do it from my own home. I also wanted to mention things like, it's kind of always been this way of not being able to afford to do things, because, I mean, you know, my mom and stepdad right now are the only ones who's really pulling in money, and, all that money, it goes to, like, bills and stuff, so, like, we don't really get to do a whole lot outside of the house as is anyways, besides the fact that it's not really a good idea to, but, it, we can't really, get the opportunity to do things a lot, and, that kind of fucking sucks. I mean, because for our lives, or at least for my life, and my sister can kind of vouch for this because she was there for a lot of it too, so, that throughout the 18 years that I've been around, it's come to, like, be not a Pavlovian response, what the fuck is it? It's come to almost be textbook. I think that's what I'm thinking of trying to say, I think. But, like, it's a staple, that's what it is. It's become a staple that, like, that we'll never really have free money at all. It's like, hell, even when I was working, the only, I mean, see, okay, like, even when I was working, we still couldn't, do a whole lot and everything, and that still kind of sucks. Back then and even now, it's just not a thing we can really do, And I understand, also, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there as like a little sidetrack moment thing, but I am aware that I might jump back and forth between topics and stuff, as well as I might, like, keep ragging on one thing over and over again and basically just repeat what I'm saying over and over again without saying those exact words, but basically providing the same point. I know I do that. I'm not sure why it is, but that's just a thing I do. So, I mean, if I repeat myself a bunch of times in this video, I'll probably cut it out, or just pick the best one of the many times and just go from there. All right. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. That, I mean, here's the thing. I'll kind of cut straight to a point. It probably won't be the point of the video, but it will be a point. So, I don't want to quit YouTube, but it's come to eventually. I mean, it's not like that right now, but I wouldn't honestly be surprised if eventually, like, that would be my only option. Because look, kiddos, I mean, I can't be a proper role model for anybody, really. I mean, because think about it, whether it be as a YouTube personality or as a person, it's like, what good qualities do I have, right? It's like, I'm no fucking perfect honors student. Hell, I dropped out. But that was mainly, and the reason I dropped out, though, was because, and I dropped out last year, which would have been my not freshman, it's the 11th grade one, whatever the fuck it's called, because I forgot. Sophomore's 10th, so freshman, sophomore. It would have been a junior, I think. If I'm thinking of the scale right, anyway. So, I mean, but that was because I only had 6 credits and you need like 40 to graduate. And that's because I never did my work and all that shit. I mean, a lot of the time I did the thing where it's like, you know, you get the answer right, but they grade it wrong because you didn't show your fucking work, which I think is bullshit. I feel that like it shouldn't matter if you show your work. If you got the fucking right answer, you should be good to go. I mean, only like put you in a position where you have to show your work just because you want to make sure that you did it right, not because you don't know if you did it right. But anyway, and they kept putting me in a position where it was like, okay, you learn the way everybody else learns, or you don't fucking like pass, you know. And I mean, I don't learn the same way other people learn. See, because I mean, like a lot of people, like hell, even Aaron Hansen when he was in high school or school in general, because I remember him talking about this on an episode. Is that like how a teacher crumbled his drawing and threw it away and shit because he was drawing in class and stuff? It's like that's how I did, man. I draw in class and shit, or I drew in class. But the reason I did that though wasn't because it was like, oh, this class is boring and shit. Because I even did it during the ones I liked. See, the reason I did that was because when I was drawing while the teacher was lecturing, and like I bet you if any of my teachers ever watch this, they'll be like, oh, that's bullshit. He's fucking making that up to cover his own ass. Which you could say that, but it's really not. This is the way I learn. So if like I'm drawing something while you're talking to me, what that means is I'm associating that memory with that drawing. So let's say if I was learning fucking long division or something, I'm just pulling out some fucking bullshit math here for an example. If I was learning like long division and I'm just drawing a random ass picture, well, every time I'd see that picture, you know, I'd remember that lesson, therefore remember how to do it. You know, I would associate that lesson with that drawing, and teachers telling me to stop drawing, you know, is basically them telling me, you know, I shouldn't fucking learn it. So, or that's how it was at least perceived to me, whether that was their intention or not. But, so, I mean, look, I'm not a fucking role model. Hell, I dropped out. Honestly, in my own eyes, I'm a fucking failure at everything I do anyway, so, I mean, it's not really a whole lot that I've accomplished. I mean, I've built a decent YouTube channel. I mean, that's about it. Because, I mean, fucking, I'm a procrastinator. You know, I fucking do a lot of shit I really shouldn't. But, you know. But I don't want to quit the channel. But if it comes ever to that point, then I'll have to. I'll do what Super Best Friends did, which was I will leave the channel up as a sense of a memory, you know, of like, we built, like, this was built not to just be fucking terminated or deleted or anything like that. This channel was built to, you know, be like, it was built to be a good community, you know, it was built to be just like the equivalent of being in like a gymnasium or something, or like an auditorium with all your fucking friends, you know, and then on the big screen, you know, would be, or like I would be on the stage, you know, just like it was a live show or something, you know, just playing games for you guys, and man, like for online games, have you guys like play with me and stuff, you know, just like set up an audience participation. That's how I built this channel to attempt to represent, is the equivalent of a live show, except for, you know, the only time I go off stage would be an intermission, and that intermission would be the equivalent of like the time between videos, from when they get uploaded and stuff, and from whenever you click on them next, you know, like I strive to be the best I can be, but it's really fucking hard to do that when you're put through constant roadblocks on the way and you just can't fucking, you know, keep up. Because look at YouTube as a whole, right? So, like, you know, for a YouTube gaming channel, there's fucking millions of those, man. And I'm on like the lower side, like the fucking slums of the YouTube, where like nobody goes because like, there's no point in it. It's like I could upload a video of like Skyrim VR but then again, somebody else would find another video of Skyrim VR, but by a person who knows more of what they're doing than I do. Therefore, they'd watch that one rather than mine. And that's essentially not just how the YouTube algorithm works, but that at the moment, to my knowledge, but that's also just how, in general, people work. If they see two things of content, they'll either do, like, there's like a few options that can come from it. If there's a good version and a good quality version and a bad quality version, they'd watch the good quality version over the bad quality version. Or they would take pity on the person who did the bad quality version and watch it instead. Or just to think that, oh, well, maybe this person, who did the lower quality version might actually, know what they're talking about, whereas certain channels or certain videos that are higher quality, like, don't actually, tell you what you need. It's like looking up something for Minecraft, right? You go to like a higher quality channel to learn how to like build a castle, and then or to learn how to like do an achievement or something, but then they don't really tell you how to do it. They just show random Minecraft gameplay and talk about other shit and just never get to it. But then like a lower quality channel would, actually straight up show it. No commentary or anything, just show you how to fucking do it. So there are certain instances that being a smaller channel is a benefit, but it has a lot of drawbacks too. And I'm not complaining about the numbers, if that's what this sounds like, because it honestly does. Even I know that. But what I'm basically trying to get at is, I know that this channel probably isn't going nowhere. Whether that be just it's not going anywhere in general, or it's just not going anywhere yet. But, I can't be like how I know I was back in the day, and I still somewhat am now. Which I'm not as bad on this as I was back in the day, but I'm not waiting for a fucking like some YouTuber, no matter how big their sub count, I'm not waiting for a YouTuber to just like, lend out their hand, and that hand is just full of subs, and you take from the hand that gives, and I'm not waiting for someone to give me what I'm wanting. I'm waiting for it to just happen, whether that be through a video I upload just so happening to get popular for no reason, or like, maybe just slowly over time I build that success. Because I think I've mentioned this in a video and I don't know, but I honestly would prefer that my success be gathered from me doing it myself than having someone just hand it to me. I mean, if I was working with a bigger YouTuber for a project, though, and I kind of got it based off of their subs because that person would talk about it or something like that, I guess that falls in a gray line where I kind of would count it, but I kind of wouldn't count it as my own doing to why that would happen. So, I mean, there's little... I've kind of built a complex of how I perceive this channel to want to go and how I like to do things. But I mean, going back to like one of the first topics of this, of just not being able to afford to do things, since I kind of went on a tangent there, it's not... Hey, I probably won't ever get internet. I'll be real with you. I probably won't. Hell, the way I'm going, I wouldn't be surprised if I ended up on the fucking streets. Who knows? And just time tells. But I mean, look. See, I'm gonna use Corpse's agoraphobic rap as example, by quoting certain lines from the song, followed by examples that were similar to that in my own life, because I know in the description of that video he basically wrote like, I don't remember what he put in the description, but it was basically the equivalent of just like uh of just like somewhat of a summary of just like, okay, so this person, or this is what I went through, but like you will listen to this song and you might feel that same way because you went through something similar. And that's kind of the vibe to it that I'm getting, is because like a lot of the lyrics of that song is very tie-inable to my life. Like when he says, was it's illness and welfare filled my adolescence. Is that the line? I mean, hell, back when I was going to school and shit, I was sick all the fucking time. And I mean, you could chalk that up to just be like, I was almost like, I fucking might as well have just been sick every damn day. But you could just chalk that up to like being around other kids and stuff. Well, that was before the corona, but still, nonetheless, like you could have chalked that up to like being around other kids and stuff. But there was a lot of the time where I just had to stand outside in like fucking 10-degree weather waiting for the bus. So, I mean, that was fucking flawed too. So that could have been it. But yeah, and the welfare part, I'm not sure about that. But I do know that throughout like 98% of my life, we've never really had money in general. Like, because as soon as we get money, it's fucking gone because it has to go to bills to take care of us, you know. Hell, there was a huge point in time where we didn't even really have money to put food on the table. And, you know, that shit's fucking hard. You know, it's hard to go through those sort of situations for like years on end, you know, whether it be through like your whole life or just like a small glimpse, you know, just ever reaching that point's fucking horrible. It sucks. And and then there was the fact of, you know, we never really could afford to live anywhere, basically, because we lived back when I was around about firstborn, you know, like back when I was a kid, like really young, like maybe 2-3 years old or something. We lived in a house in town, and I don't know why. I guess we couldn't afford to stay there, so we left. And then there was about, I'd say 13 or 14 of my years were just me staying in a trailer behind my grandparents' house. I mean, it got another section added onto it, so it basically became a double wide, but still nonetheless. That thing fucking leaked and it was awful living there. Every time it rained, it would pour like a fucking sieve through the roof. You know, you have to keep buckets in your room all the time. Waiting, because it rained all the fucking time. Like, no shit. Like, it seemed that almost every day it rained. And especially when it would rain for like weeks on end. So you have all these buckets in there and they're just filled to the brim with water. And then the bathtub slowly caving in into the, like it was, like the floor underneath it was rotting away because it was wood. Like plywood, you know, and the bathtub slowly sinking into the water. And then, you know, I fucking hated that place. I really did. And we just recently left it like earlier this year. Like I've been there for a while. But there was a lot of points in time where we would go, and we lived in an apartment in town as well. But then that became too expensive to live, so we had to move back to the trailer. We moved to like 4 different places. Every time we did, we had to keep crawling back to that fucking trailer because we couldn't afford to live anywhere else. Hell, we could still barely afford to live at that trailer. But we managed somehow, you know. And that's kind of really half-assed well, that's not really half-assed. that's kind of really the 100% reason as to why I'm even wanting to try to get popular online, you know, whether it be through music, voice acting, any kind of shit that I know I can do, playing video games, whatever, any way that I can try to get successful, just so I can, you know, give my family the money that we can never have, you know. That's kind of my dream, you know, in a nutshell, is just to, you know, through being put through all this shit, it would be to not only give my family the opportunity to know they'll never have to go through that again, but also to, you know, like, help other people in similar situations, you know, and make sure they don't get put in the situation that I did and have to live the way that we did. And it's, I mean, I try my damnedest, whether I have internet or not, to keep this channel going and keep it alive for that reason. Because if this channel dies, that fucking dream does. Because if this channel dies, then really I have nothing left to, like, you know, spread awareness for things. I have nothing left to do stuff on anymore. Like, there'd just be no point, you know. And, you know, cutting back to the section about school and stuff, I remember a time, because we couldn't have heating, or proper heating anyway, during the winter. The windows never closed all the way, so we had to, like, you know, nail up plastic around it, you know, around the windows to make sure it wouldn't get too cold, and had to use a shit ton of heaters. Like those little, like, $30 ones you buy that, like, hook into the wall and stuff, running up our fucking electric bill, but we had no other choice. We did get a wood burner at one point in time, and that thing was so fucking, it was awful, because it didn't filter, like, the smoke outside properly, so it would just blow all that back inside. Even if the door on it was opened or closed, either way, it would just put all that inside the house, you know, and it'd make all my shit smell like fucking fire, you know, smelling like burning wood. And I got asked about that by a teacher one day. She comes by and she smells it on me, and she's like, she asked me why I smelled like fire. And, you know, I told her we had a bonfire the night before. So what the fuck am I gonna tell her, right? That I'm too poor to afford to keep, that I was too poor to afford to, and, like, or that we were too poor to afford to keep our fucking house heated properly? No, I'm not gonna fucking say that. So I just told her it was a bonfire and went on our way, you know. It's just, I really, because I know that, since none of you guys know how my living situation is now, it's better than it was. I'll give it that, but ooh, I know it's all gonna go to hell soon. It will. Just give it time. Hell, it may take a year, maybe a couple years, who knows, but it's all gonna fucking go downhill real fast. So, but anyway, I just really wanted to make this video because I just wanted to inform you guys, because I've been honest on the channel about, like, the things that I do and, like, the reason why I do them, but I just thought in this video, besides giving some insight on my, you know, my past, to give you guys the, like, true reason, like, as complete as I've got right now, as to why, you know, I want to keep this going and why I haven't give up or quit yet, you know. And I'll keep going till I get that point. It's either I keep going till then, or I just keep going till eventually something slaps me in the face, you know, whether it be a strike or a termination for some reason, telling me to go fuck off, you know. Until that happens, I'm gonna try to keep the channel going. I mean, in the meantime, while I'm not uploading and doing stuff, I guess I recommend, or since I can't really upload stuff, you know, I recommend going and subscribing to Ethan and Joe, because I mean, Joe's messaged me asking me about making forest videos, like for the forest, you know, so he might be uploading those soon, so go check him out and go check Ethan out, you know, to make sure that, because Ethan uploads, he's a little slacking on his daily uploads, but he does it like 98% of the time, so he'll upload, so yeah, just go watch him for some content while you're waiting for me, or hell, just watch it to fucking, because it's enjoyment, you know, it's real good, it's good shit. But, you know, see, I know my story is sad, but, like, I don't want you guys to really feel bad about me, but, like, or to, like, worry or anything like that, but, you know, it just sucks. I had something else I was gonna say, so I might sit here for a minute trying to remember it. If not, I'll probably just cut to the outro or something. Oh, okay, so I just remembered something, and I'm gonna go ahead and, like, snap cut this to the part where I was talking about school and learning and stuff. So, like, when I was a real young lad, about, like, you know, about, like, when we were living in that house, like 3 or something like that, like, so real young, I was, you know, I was diagnosed, not really diagnosed, I guess that'd be the word. Diagnosed is always a thing you use for, like, real bad illnesses, but, you know, I guess it's bad depending on who you are. But I was you know, diagnosed with Asperger's, you know, autism. So, like, it made it hard to learn in school, and do other things. It made it semi hard to make friends, you know, because it's like, back then and even still now, I kind of don't really have a good filter on things, so I don't, like, words and things I say, you know, so I don't really, you know, okay, if I say this thing, well, I piss this person